Oh, damn, that was quick. I have no idea how to turn on the intro music. Okay, guys. So today's going to be a quicker episode. I'm going to try to fly by things today because there's some really important stuff that's happening in the industry that I really want to hit on, and no one's talking about. And the reason why no one's talking about it is because it'll kind of expose a lot of bad things and a lot of bad players. And I think everyone knows that here on Think Big, our goal is to just protect the people that listen and pay attention to us. And so today it's going to be another solo Sam episode, which I'm really kind of sad about because I like hanging out with my friends, and my friends are out partying without me. So you know what, it is what it is. And if we get dude, Jim, good to see you, man. If we get interrupted by my dogs, we're just going to keep rolling. So my dogs are going to be kind of coming around and hanging out and having a good time. But today's going to be a really quick fire episode because I want to hit on some things that are really important and that will affect everybody's businesses. And there are things that, again, nobody is talking about. And so if you guys didn't realize this, in the world of doing business, right? Whether it's real estate, whether it's wholesaling or flipping or lending, or you run a coaching business, or you sell prime energy drinks, or anything that you do. Hey, Sasha, let me see if I can get one of them. Lily, Daisy, come here, come here. Oh God, they're both coming. Oh crap, come here, guys. Say hi to Daisy. Daisy just unplugged the light. Say hi to Daisy. Hi, Daisy. Okay, and then Lily is too cool for the camera. Lily, come say hi to the people. Come say hi to the YouTubes. Lily does not want to. Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. Yuki, you can come here. Come here. You can come. You can. Oh God. Okay. You took that invite. Okay. So we're going to be talking about all the bans that are coming from the federal government because things are getting regulated, guys. So at the end of the day, hi, Lily. Hi. Okay. Hi, guys. This is Daisy. That is Lily, my wolf dog, who is very illegal to have in the state of California, but she is awesome. Hi, baby girls. Okay, so see, I have company now. I was sad because I was going to be solo, and my girls are here. All right, so I'm going to be screen sharing a lot of today, and I want to start going over some stuff because at the end of the day, in the world of any business, you have to generate leads, and we're so caught up in real estate, in wholesale lending, TCing, flipping, buying and holding that we kind of forget that every other industry has all the other same ways to generate leads that we do. And we forget that the world of consumer protection is bigger than just real estate. And so every industry, people who are selling, gym memberships or fitness coaching or energy drinks, whatever it is, they're all generating leads in very similar ways in that we are. And when that happens, we kind of forget that there's the other side of the spectrum, and that's the end consumer, the person who is receiving the ads, the person who is filling out the lead forms and the lead web capture forms. And the federal government takes more care of them because they're the honest to God, they need to be protected from bad players, and enough damage has been done by online marketers, digital marketers, social media marketers that the government is basically stepping in finally. And so to give you guys some context, the world of social media marketing and business for the last decade has been like the wild, wild west. And what do I mean by that? And what I mean by that is simple. You have all of these people, and you guys know them. It's why we have guru culture and influencer culture. All of these people can go online and say, hey, I've made $5 million in 6 months, and I know how. And if you buy my course and you buy my product, or you invest in whatever the hell it is I'm putting in front of you, that you can do the same. And the issue with that is the world of, and guys, I know this because I used to work for the government. Everything that the government does from a kind of like a law enforcement standpoint is like a decade or two behind modern technology. Now, there are some government agencies that are super on it, but in regards to like consumer protection and protecting people against fraud and people who are abusing social media marketing in very unethical ways, legislation and regulation is always going to be behind the times. And so social media marketing and social media, the industry of selling on social media has been huge for a decade, 2 decades now. And it's been massively unregulated. And what's happened is so much damage has been done that the government has been called in so many times for class action lawsuits. The FBI has been involved in so many fraud things. And like, I mean, guys, let's just be honest here. What are some of the tipping points that took this over? I think FTX is one of them. FTX was huge, and everyone that was involved in the FTX scandal, they all had gigantic social media platforms, and they were all generating leads in a massive, massive way online. And same thing goes with things like Yada Bank, which is affecting some big finance YouTubers right now. And these are people who have millions and millions, tens of millions of followers collectively. So it can potentially affect up to tens of millions of Americans at a given time. And when they get screwed over and they go complain and they go file lawsuits or they go together for a class action and then they try to sometimes pursue some form of criminal penalty, the government has to start paying attention. And the reality is the government has. So this stuff affects you if you are buying leads online. We're going to go over that. You're generating leads. It affects, you guys know me, I'm really big on marketing, and that's why I do marketing secrets. It's going to affect two big marketing lead channels to generate leads. It is going to affect your, I love this one. It's going to affect you and how you generate leads online through social media, whether that's through Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. How, if you are using social media and like being loud and proud about your business and saying, do deals with me, that whole thing is being cracked down on. How you do it has to be like very specific and careful now. I don't think it's going anywhere, but we have to be very careful and know how to approach it. And then the really fun thing is that we're going to see how this is going to affect all of the people who are at the top of the spectrum, who absolutely, the biggest influencers, the biggest gurus, the biggest educators, the biggest online sellers who use social media to transact in their business all day, every day. It's going to affect them in a big way as well. And you're not going to, guys, full transparency, you're not going to hear them talk about it because a lot of the stuff that's coming into play is a result of a lot of bigger guys doing some really bad stuff and committing to bad practices. Because the reality is, when smaller people who have businesses who are doing a few seven figures, like when and they have small brands, small social media followings, when they go and, do something inappropriate or irresponsible, there's not enough attention. But when you have all of these guys who have tens of millions of followers going and defrauding, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people at scale, if not even millions of people at scale, that's when you have, like, the government is forced to pay attention, and they are completely on it now. So without further ado, I am just going to start screen sharing and get into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over three. Let me see how many we have. 1, 2, 3 rulings that really are extremely important, and then how they affect the industry as we know it now, how they affect you right now, and how they are going to affect you in the future, and like what you should be paying attention to, how you should be pivoting, in my opinion. And all I'm going to do is basically showcase how I'm approaching this in my business. So, it's going to be very much like a Samsung approach, and you can, take that however you want. Let's do this. Okay. I never know how to share a screen. John Hurt, what's up, dude? Okay. There's a button that says share screen. Who would have thought? Okay, first one that I want to hit on big. You guys know me. I am huge. Yo, give me a yes in the chat if you can see this. Can you guys see this? What I'll do is I will actually open it. Let me go bigger on it too, so it takes up more real estate on your guys' screen. Can you give me a yes in the chat if you see this, guys? I am completely useless when it comes to tech. Awesome. Okay. And guys, real quick, Marlon hates this stuff. Marlon hates Prime Hydration Drink by Logan Paul. I think most of them are okay. Orange one, if you guys grew up on Sunny D, I promise you the Orange Prime is just Sunny D without a ton of sugar in it. I promise you, it's amazing. Okay, so you guys know me. I am big on marketing, right? That's like my specialty is marketing and sales. Those are two things that I'm really freaking good at. And that's why I have those things like marketing secrets that I can go 5.5 hours on, showing you how to, put out marketing, generate leads, convert those leads at a mass scale and scale your business. I love that stuff. This is something that's big. And I called this a year ago, actually more than a year ago. You guys are going to start seeing such a massive increase in AI-based cold calling services. AI cold callers, guys, that's something that people have been working on for a long time. Back in the day, they were kind of just known as robocallers, and it was very obviously a robocaller because it sounded like a freaking robot on the other side of the phone. Now, if you guys remember, I don't even know how many years ago it was, quite a few years back, when Google released its AI cold call demo, and it sounded like indistinguishable from an actual human being who was cold calling and setting an appointment on behalf of a business. AI cold calling has gone through the freaking roof, right? Gone through the roof. AI cold calling, there's so many platforms. And if you guys know the CRM Go High Level is a platform where you are given a sandbox. You can go and modify it, change it however you want. It's modular, which means you can play with it, plug it around, move things around, and kind of create a new version of it. And then you can resell that white label to someone else. AI cold calling, there are AI cold call companies that are developing their own AI cold callers. There are other AI cold call companies that are very much like Go High Level, where they give, let's just say, a developer, let's just say I want to do business with them. I can go buy a license from them, train that AI however I want, slap my name on it, Sam Singh's AI cold caller, and sell it to you guys. And so AI cold calling is going to be everywhere really soon. It's going to be really, and I've called this a year ago. You just see the writing on the wall. Why? And here's some of the pros and cons, right? The pro is that it's basically never going to show up to work late. It can have, 100, a dozen, 100, 1,000 conversations at the same time with a ton of people. It can generate leads for you, and you don't have to, manage an hour sheet. You don't have to do call performance reviews with it every single day. I mean, like, you probably should, to give it some data and some feedback. But at the end of the day, it's not something you have to train it how to have a certain type of tonality. Like, you leave that to the developers who are doing it, right? It doesn't need as much babysitting. And that's super, super enticing, right? Here's the thing. Robocalling has been banned. It was banned a long time ago. Like, it was, if we look at robocalling, let's see this. I'm going to scroll down here. So this is, guys, I'll give you the site so you guys can look it up on your own. I think this was this was early on. Okay, whatever. I'm going to find it for you guys. And then, so right here, the TCPA, which was the original TCPA, the Telephonic or Telephone Consumer Protection Act, TCPA. Yeah. Where is it? It says it somewhere here. I know it does. Oh, yeah, right there. Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Haha, I was on it. 1991. It's been around for a long time. It's been around for a long time because the government wants to protect consumers from bad actors in business. And the government has actually banned robocallers. I mean, they banned robocallers way back when. It's why you guys, robocallers haven't been a massive thing because they've been banned from the get-go. And now, because AI cold call platforms are being taught to sound so much like humans that they're almost indistinguishable sometimes, businesses are trying to slip through the weeds. Here's the thing. The FCC has already gotten out in front of it. Guys, this document is not updated. This is right here. The comment date is February 26, 2024. You can actually, I'm going to give you guys the citations. Oh, right here. This is from January 2024, which is kind of cool. This citation, I'm going to give you guys the docs later. And if you guys want the docs, you guys want to go see them all, do me a favor on Instagram, DM me, and I'll shoot you over the links because I have no freaking clue how to do it through here. Guys, I never manage the studio StreamYard. When we're live, it's never me. It's always like Alejandro because he understands that stuff way more. So just shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm happy to shoot you over the links so you guys can review all that stuff on your own. AI cold calling, the government's out ahead of it, and they are banning AI cold calling, artificial voice, which is the same thing, right? As a robocaller. Basically, a lot of these guys are trying to get around selling their product and saying, hey, it's not set in stone yet. There are workarounds. There's a loophole, this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And this is why I'm so passionate about this, because I want people to stay in business for a long time, not a very short time. And in the world of like real estate wholesaling, it's like a 96% fallout rate in the first year. And it's because it's very difficult to get traction in this industry. And then you already have so many expenses to do this business right. The last thing new business owners need to do is get into entrepreneurship, be sold an AI cold call platform by an influencer or me, and then basically get fined by the FCC, on top of the fact that the consumer who you're probably cold calling is also a federal do not call human being, which means they like literally have signed on with the federal government to say, I do not want anyone to solicit me. And so when you call them and you have done so without their opt-in, you are like opening yourself up to a fine. And this is how, guys, there's people who make a professional living. They're known as professional litigators, where they intentionally will get on the FDNC, get on all of these marketing lists, wait for people like you and me to go ahead and go and market to them unknowing. And then they're waiting to send out the settlement demands or waiting to send out the lawsuits. Okay. So just whether or not you have a VA cold caller doing the cold call or you have an AI doing it, it doesn't matter if you're doing it irresponsibly. And here's the thing, the VA doing it or your teammate doing it, like someone on your team in America doing the cold call, that's actually better than having an AI do it, because the AI robocalling is explicitly banned. There's no way around it. It is explicitly banned. And so I would hate to see you guys get totally wrecked by it, because those fines can be heavy. And it's not just the fines you have to worry about. It's the fines from the government. You also have to worry about the guy who's on FDNC coming after you from a civil perspective. Yo, Gustavo, good to see you, bro. Arnolfo, that means it leaves us small newbies out cold. No, it doesn't, bro. You know why? Because you got me. I will never leave you out cold. So, and I want you guys to pay attention to this thing right here. Okay, the description of this: protects consumers from illegal text by adopting blocking requirements for providers and closes the lead generator loophole. So see that, right? Closes the lead generator loophole for robocalls and robo-texts. So it's not just that robo cold calling is banned, robo texting is also banned. And you need a prior opt-in from the prospect, from whoever you're trying to reach, the end consumer that the government's trying to protect. You have to receive a prior opt-in from them before you can go and start marketing to them. Okay. And that's important. And then the key here is this, guys. I know there's a few really big influencers out there right now who are saying like, buy this stuff. There are loopholes. We can get through it. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing right there on this. By the way, guys, this screen that I'm sharing it's not a help article. It is the FCC's website itself. Okay. So it's the government's website. They are actively chasing and closing the loopholes. So they are not there. It's not like 15, 20 years ago where the government was so archaic that it took them like forever to catch up with things. It's actually, they're catching up with things really, really, really fast. And Lily, hi, Lily. Come here. Okay. She wants attention, but then she doesn't want attention. So just know this: when someone who is trying to sell you a product and you know it's potentially illegal, and they say, well, there's a loophole or there's a workaround or there's a technicality, right? The government's on it. They're looking for them. And as soon as they find them, they will crucify them, make an example out of someone, and then set the precedence. Because how the government works, guys, as someone who used to work for the government on multiple different levels, the government likes setting a precedent. They like making a statement, having it go into case law, and then for future reference, like the evidence is there, the proof's there, it's been done. They just follow the same formula over and over again. So what does this mean? Simon, I'm thinking Simon Gutierrez. What about niche SMS? So here's the thing, guys. As far as SMS is concerned, you objectively need prior opt-in language. Like that is by the letter of the law, you need prior opt-ins. That being said, are there people who are still doing SMS? Absolutely. And they're crushing it and they're making a ton of money with it. Now, are they taking a risk? Yes, they are taking a risk. I hope they've done a risk assessment, and they've decided that in their business, with the money they're standing to make versus the money they may potentially lose in the case of a fine or in the case of litigation, that it's worth it for them. The trade-off is worth it. Now, Simon, if you went to Marketing Secrets, I actually went over for like an hour how to set up LLCs in a way and your CRMs in a way and your marketing tools in a way that if you were going to do this stuff, you would potentially mitigate the chances of exposure, or mitigate exposure in terms of like how there's people who do this stuff. They go and do SMS and it's very blatantly. They say like, hey, my name is Samsung. I live at 123 Main Street. right? And I want to buy your house, and I'm openly soliciting you. Like those people are going to get sued in one day. And then there's the guys who are doing it, and they're doing it a little bit smarter. They have their entity set up with a lot of anonymity layers, right? They've got a lot of their stuff set up properly where there's more protection. There's still risk, but they've offset that with some protection. So is niche SMS working? Yeah. Does niche cold call work? Heck yeah. For my company, niche cold call crushes. It's crushing. Why? Because everyone is going and doing something else. And one of the other things that we're going to talk about today is actually huge. And it's why niche cold call is actually crushing for me. And we're about to like 10x it. But we're not doing it with an AI cold caller. We're doing it with real human beings. And more than that, we're not doing it with foreign cold callers. We're doing it with domestic American workers because it gets through and we have much better interactions and it's generally safer. Okay. There are a lot of more established investors going AI and letting go of their VAs. I have been asking around to join a team, and that is what they are telling me. Arnalfa, so I'm going to tell you this right now. Anyone who is truly crushing it, doing multiple 7 figures a year, because a lot of them are my friends, very few of them, if any of them, are irresponsible enough or ignorant enough to be using AI cold callers for their lead generation. They have humans cold calling if that's what they're doing. So I would be very careful with like who you're reaching out to, because if they're saying, yeah, we're jumping shit, it's one thing to have AI optimize your CRM for you. It's another thing to have AI optimize your newsletter for you. But if they're saying, yeah, we're using AI to do the cold call and we have an AI cold calling 1,000 people all at once, yeah, trust me, those are the people who are taking that risk, and they may not be as established as you might think they are, or they may not be advanced in marketing as you might think they are, meaning that like you might want to start looking somewhere else because all the big boys, they're doing other stuff. Okay. Guys, this is a dope conversation. Would the opt-in be when the prospect says yes to a VA to agree to call from a company that wants to buy their home? Yeah, so it's going to depend. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. And you're kind of talking about the way that you're kind of alluding to it or positioning it is for kind of like a PPL or digital ads model where they have to go and apply. This applies to B2B as well. Absolutely. It's another weird thing that people we've been seeing people say, and guys, mind you, the people who say this are all the people who are selling it. That's always the key. There's no one who's doing 7 figures, multiple 7 figures a year, and heck, not even the guys who are doing 7 figures a month who are doing it and they're like openly saying this. Hell no, they do it like the right way to stay in business. So sorry if you guys hear Lily, she's like complaining right now. So with B2B. I've looked, guys, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But I've looked and I have not seen a stipulation from the FCC that says that this doesn't apply to B2B. Now, if you are, let's just say, prospecting via text message or via AI cold call to a Lily, she's throwing a tantrum, guys. This is, yes. What? You wanna come teach? You wanna come say hi? No, she walks away. So much attitude, guys. Don't get a wolf dog. Don't get a husky, a Malamute, or a wolf dog. Terrible. So a lot of times people are going to say, what if I'm doing an AI text or an AI cold call to an agent who has an active listing on Zillow or the MLS and their phone number is listed? That is fine for now. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. Like, do you see her? She is completely throwing a tantrum right now. And it's funny because okay. God. Okay. The B2B side works for now if they are openly and publicly saying, here's my phone number, it's on my website, here's my phone number, it's on the listing. Yes, I want you to call me. Then of course then you're supposed to go and call them. Now, if it's a robocaller or a robo-texter, that's the concern, right? And here's the thing, guys. This is just the initial big wave of this coming down. The reality is all of government legislation and government regulations, they come in waves, okay? And this is going to apply to some of the other things we're going to go over today. They come in waves. So they're going to ban the robocallers, and then people are going to say, well, cool, I'm just going to go do B2B to the agents who have deals listed on the MLS because their phone number is listed there and it's public knowledge. Cool. That makes a lot of sense until enough people abuse AI cold callers. And now you have, 10,000 people all using the same damn AI cold call platforms, hammering every agent in America relentlessly with AI cold calls. And then what's going to happen? And guys, this is why, like, we always give agents a lot of crap, and I personally do as well. But the agents are so much more organized. It's why wholesale is becoming so just so regulated, is because agents have unions. Like, they're like unionized, and they have organization, and they have political lobbying power that wholesalers don't. So when wholesalers go and use this guerrilla marketing strategies to go and generate leads, and they go piss off every agent in America, well, guess what? The agents go complain to the brokers go and complain to the state realtor commission board. And then at that point, they have lobbying power. And that's why wholesale is being destroyed and banned in so many places. It's because we have all of these wholesalers and investors trying to skirt these regulations. So there's going to be initial wave, then people are going to do the B2B stuff, and then eventually the B2B stuff's going to get so annoyed that the B2B stuff's going to get like banned without some form of prior opt-in as well. It's just how it goes. And this is, guys, in marketing secrets, I have one big thing that I always say, and that is, give me 1 sec, guys. Give me like 5 seconds. I'm going to go and let Lily out because she is like about to freak out. Okay, and we're back. All right, guys. So when we're looking at this stuff, right? The key is this: whether we go bulk or we go into the niches, or the niches, the reality is living in the niches is always going to be better. And so the phone carriers, they really care about one phone number dialing 20, right? The 1 to 20 kind of outreach model. That's what's flagging people spam. That's what's getting people to get cracked down. That's what's getting your Twilio account shut down every 5 minutes, is because you're texting a million people at once, or you're calling a million people at once. So just cold calling. I don't think cold calling is ever going to go away. I don't think it can. Why? Because it's almost impossible to stop people from taking one phone number to dialing one. And that's the key, is 1-to-1 outreach. And here's why I've been saying this, guys, for a year and a half now, that the 1 to 20 outreach is what's getting the industry cracked down on. The 1-to-1 outreach is the thing that's going to be really, really huge. Okay. And so, and this is actually, funny enough, in the next thing that we want to talk about. So as it stands, don't be stupid. If you don't have the money to deal with the potential fines, don't take the risk. That's it. And like, guys, I'm an extremely risky entrepreneur. I start new businesses all the time. I scale things aggressively. Like, I take big risks in entrepreneurship, but even I know how to take a calculated risk. So if you are broke as a joke, brand new, don't have money to, you can barely afford to do the marketing. Trust me, you can't then afford to also get sued by a professional litigator or get fined by the FCC, because the FCC doesn't give a damn whether or not you heard some dipstick on YouTube telling you to go do all this stuff, even though the FCC has openly banned it. And guess what? When you get fined, when you get sued by a professional litigator, your favorite influencer isn't going to go to court for you. They are also not going to pay your fine for you. You can't just, transfer the liability to them. It doesn't work that way. So it is on you as a business owner to be aware of these things and make sure that you're being flexible with your marketing. And I've been saying this for years, is that marketing, guys, it's volatile. It shifts. Marketing is cyclical. It goes through ebbs and flows. 10 years ago, 6-7 years ago, direct mail just sucked. Nowhere did it work. Now direct mail is huge. Cold call 4 or 5 years ago, probably about really 4 years ago, was huge. If you had a gigantic call center, you can generate 1 million leads a day, and it crushed. But guess what happened? So many people got on that train and abused consumers that the government wants to protect, that so many complaints, so many investigations, so many reports of civil and criminal wrongdoing because of these marketing channels, the government had to respond and crack down on things. And now cold calls being heavily regulated, texting is being heavily regulated, and the carriers don't care about you and your marketing. They care about the average consumer who's got a family data plan with them. So just stay out ahead of it. So answer to who asked it? Simon. The niches will never go away. Go harder on the niches. Stay away from anything that is one-to-many outreach. Stick to one-to-one. And the next thing is going to really prove that point. So, okay. Passionate about this stuff today, guys. Okay, let's find the next one. Okay. This one is huge. I love this one because this one is something that I called during last year's marketing secrets. I knew this was coming because I was using, actually, let me enlarge in this, not that. Let's go here. Okay. Let's see if we can make all of this stuff bigger for you guys. Let me know if you guys are having trouble seeing any of this stuff. Okay, so last year I was a huge advocate of the PPL model, right? The pay per lead model. Gustavo, Sam, when's the next marketing secrets? Bro, I'm actually never doing marketing secrets ever again. So the last marketing secrets I did this year in March was the last one I'll ever do. And bro, if you missed that one, dude, tough out of luck because there was 600 people on it. So, okay. I was a huge advocate of the PPL model. Why? Because it wasn't as intensive as needing to go and start an entire PPC digital ads campaign. You could, use an agency or a business that would generate those leads for you. And then, oh man. One sec, guys. I just realized there's all these people. Guys, if you're watching on Facebook, don't comment on Facebook. When we go live on like StreamYard and you're seeing it on Facebook, we can't see it like at all. So if you're going to comment, come over to YouTube and then we'll chat here. Okay. So I like PPL because it's not as intensive as PPC. You don't have to go and spend a ton of money on ad spend. You just basically let someone else go do the work and you buy the leads for them, right? There's a lot of PPL providers. There's a new PPL company every other week, it seems like, especially in real estate, but in every other industry out there. And it's important for you guys to understand how PPL works. So on one end, there is the clients, right? Guys like us, people like us who are wholesalers or real estate investors, we want the direct to seller leads and we don't want to run the ad campaign. So we wait for another company to come along, right? And that company goes and generates the leads by running Google ads, YouTube ads, Facebook ads, TikTok, whatever the hell they do. They generate those leads and we can buy those leads one at a time, like one-offs. They're called like a la carte, which just means one-offs. And here's the thing with that. Those companies, when they create an ad campaign to target a homeowner, this is what they do. They create an ad. It looks nice. And it's basically, it says like, hey, do you want a cash offer on your home? We are 123 home buyers and we buy properties in your area, whatever the hell it says. But basically the end consumer, right? The distressed homeowner, they're looking at an ad on their screen from, let's just say 123 home buyers. And 123 home buyers is very often not a real freaking company. It's just like, at best, it's a fake, like it's like a shell LLC. More often than not, it's not a real company at all. It's just a name they made up and they slapped it on the logo, or they slapped on a logo from Canva. And it's just something they put to give the ad a little bit of credibility. So the distressed homeowner can fill that ad out and say, yes, I want 123 home buyer to reach out to me so I can get a cash offer on my property. Okay. That's cool. What's happened here, guys? The homeowner has given consent. They have opted in to receive communication and therefore solicitation from who? 123 home buyer. Okay, whatever the company name is on that ad campaign or in that funnel. Here's the problem with PPL right now, and this is what the government's cracking down on. That PPL company will take that lead in that consent, right, to 123 home buyer, and then sell it to the highest bidder. And you guys have seen all these PPL companies. Most of them they have like an auction platform or like a bidding platform, and whoever's the highest bidder gets the lead. And then let's just say if Joel buys the lead for $400 a pop because the lead's an expensive lead, and he has XYZ home buyer, and XYZ home buyer reaches out to the consumer, the homeowner didn't give Joel's company consent to do outreach. There's a break in the train of like communication. There's a break in the chain of consent. And up until now, PPL companies have been, in essence, transferring that consent to whoever they sell the lead to. The FCC is cracking down on that because they don't want that, because consumers are sick and tired of this scenario. They go fill out a lead, right, on an ad. They go fill out their lead on an ad campaign or in ads that they see on Facebook or YouTube or Google or whatever. And they're sick and tired of having 50 wholesalers call them within 10 minutes because that lead was sold and then resold and then resold. And guys, like, that's just the truth of a lot of these PPL companies. They're not actually being exclusive. They're selling the lead over and over and over and over again. And what's happening is that homeowner who only gave consent to one company to reach out to them is now being reached out to 50 or more. And that's what's causing the complaints. And that's what's causing the FCC to crack down on this. So we're going to go through some of this stuff and just talk about it. Okay. So lead publishers, these would be like the PPL companies, the ad agencies who are running this stuff, can no longer use a link to large lists of potential partners who may purchase or receive consumer personal data contact data for outreach. So that's key. Here's been a workaround, right? As this stuff's been happening, a workaround that a lot of these lead companies have been doing is they've been saying, hey, on their landing page, their funnel page where they capture a homeowner's information, there's like in the hidden text, it says click here to, our partner companies who may be reaching out to you. And it's like a list of like 500 companies that they will resell the data to, right? Can't do it anymore because the homeowner is not in good ethics responsibly going to go and look through that and actually give consent to all of them. It's shady advertising and it's shady funneling, and consumers hate that, and the FCC is cracking down on it. And trust me, it gets crazier than that. So FCC's new rule on selling leads, okay? 1-to-1 consent, right? Remember how Simon talks about niche SMS and I said the issue is one to many, right? The homeowner did not give consent to 50 wholesalers to reach out to them when they filled out that lead. It was 1-to-1. So now the ad campaigns, the ad creatives have to reflect which company is going to explicitly be reaching out to them. So that's a huge issue because the entire PPL model, like of right now, is stipulated on giving the consent to basically everybody on earth or whoever's willing to pay the most for it, right? And they're transferring consent. Can't happen. It has to be very specific. Number 2, clear and conspicuous disclosure. So disclosures must be apparent to a reasonable consumer. And that's the key word, a reasonable consumer. A lot of these companies and a lot of these founders are trying to skirt the law and skirt the regulations by, saying that like, well, they should be reading all the fine print. No reasonable consumer does that. And like the government is not naive. They know this because when you go and like fill out an order on any website, do you actually click the terms and services and read through all 95 pages of fine print that are there? No. And like there is a factor in the government that cares about what is a reasonable consumer and reasonable consumer protection. So they're assuming that the reasonable person who's going to be filling out these lead forms is not a real estate genius. They're not a marketing genius. They don't understand that if I fill out this lead form, it's then going to be going sold, not to the company I thought I was going to be dealing with, but the highest bidder behind the scenes. And I have no idea who they are, but they're going to be the ones reaching out to me. That's the issue. So clear and conspicuous disclosure, restriction on sharing information. So the practice of sharing consumer information with multiple marketing platforms is prohibited. So consumers must consent to communications from each. Here it is, guys. This is the key. Consumers must consent to communications from each seller individually rather than a general consent covering multiple entities. Now, what does that mean? Where do we see that? when the company, the PPL company or the ads agency basically says, hey, Mr. Seller, if you go and fill out this form, either us or one of our partner sister companies will reach out to you. And then the problem is they have 90,000 sister companies. That's basically whoever's going to pay them the most for the lead. That stuff's not going to fly anymore. And they're actively working to address that loophole, because that's the loophole that people are trying to exploit right now. Love this one. So the do not call, DNC, and text message regulations. The new rules codify that text messages are subject to the same regulations as calls. So up until now, texting and cold calling, even though they're both cold outreach, outbound marketing is what they're known as, are like classified as two separate things. They're now being codified under the same umbrella with the same regulation. So the same stuff that applies to cold calling will apply to texting. Okay, especially with, and this is specific to the National Do Not Call Registry, right? So if you've never been on the National Do Not Call Registry, it doesn't necessarily apply to you. As I mean, like, there's still a lot of protections in place, but for the people who are on the national, or the what's known as the FDNC, the Federal Do Not Call Registry, it's going to protect them, and basically all the same liabilities or danger points of texting will also apply equally under the call side, vice versa. This is to help protect people from getting, blasted by a million cold callers at once, or AI cold callers, or getting a million texts at once. And guys, the key here, right? In two different FCC rulings, what are they trying to stop? One too many, one agency, one wholesaler, one investor marketing with the same text, with the same call features, with the same ad campaign to many. That's what's being cracked down on. It's not that like cold calling is ever going to go away completely, or texting is going to completely go away. I'm sure it'll come back to a degree. What needs to be worked on is one-to-one outreach. This is why I love being in the niches. And we've been like, guys, we dropped bulk marketing well over like a year ago. Completely over a year ago, we dropped bulk marketing, and we only do the niches. And like, this stuff doesn't affect us. It's like, we don't run into these issues because we're building great relationships. And funny enough, we have lower spend, better results, a higher ROI in our campaigns, while everyone else is basically like, under a microscope by the federal government, and basically just a matter of time before they get sued or fined, or both. So fun stuff. Guys, I'm going to drink some Prime. Let me know if you guys have any questions, because I know I'm just going ham on this stuff because it's important. One of these days, guys, I'm going to throw an event. I'm going to have it sponsored by Orange Prime or Sunny D, whichever one. Maybe Capri Sun. I don't know. I haven't had Capri Sun in forever, but one of these days. Okay. I'm like getting tired, like speaking so much. Let me know if you guys are getting value, because no, orange, definitely orange. No, the red one's disgusting, bro. Not disgusting. No, in case Logan Paul ever sees this, totally phenomenal. I'm just privy to the orange one. So, okay, let's go and find the next one. And let me know if you guys are getting value out of this one, guys, because this is something that we normally don't talk about. We don't talk about regulations on Think Big. In fact, no one's talking about this. No influencers are talking about this. And it's funny, guys. I'm in a mastermind with a lot of influencers and gurus and stuff. And trust me, because they're the ones selling online. They're the ones who use this stuff and sell their followers this stuff. They're talking about it a lot right now. And no one is talking about it on the front end. Like, all the consumers and the followers and like all of us, the rest of us, all the small guys, like, we're kind of kept in the dark right now. So I wanted to bring this stuff to light. Okay. I told you guys there was 3 things, right? Ooh, okay. I love this one. Okay. So this one is one that I think is long overdue. Okay. I'm going to blow it up. Let me know, guys. Do you guys, can you guys see this fine? Is it too small? Let me know if it's too small or not. Okay. Yeah, just let me know in the chat if it's too small or if it's good, or you guys can see it just fine, because I have no idea what you guys are looking at. Man, Sasha's right. I do need help with all this stuff, man. It's funny. I have like an executive assistant too, and like I just don't use her for any of this stuff, and I probably really should. Okay, so Federal Trade Commission. So now we're breaching from the FCC, okay, that's a different organization, to the FTC. The Federal Trade Commission announces final rule banning fake reviews and testimonials, okay? This will allow the agency, which is the FTC, to strengthen enforcement, seek civil penalties against violators, and deter AI generated fake reviews, okay? This is the big one. I saved this one for last because this applies to all of your favorite gurus. It applies to all of your favorite influencers and big businesses that you like, okay? And it's also going to apply to you if you want to really start growing your business in a massive way and you want to use social media to really kind of grow your business and you're using online review systems. So there's a couple parts to this, and I'm going to save the last one because that's the one I think is going to disrupt the industry completely. And again, when I said earlier that, the last 15 years of social media marketing has been like the freaking Wild West, like it's not going to be anymore because the government's finally caught up. They've been waiting for enough people to get defrauded, enough people to get screwed over by influencers. Maybe it's the FTX thing. Maybe it's the Yada Bank thing. Maybe it's enough idiot real estate guys who go and do these massive syndications and raise $80 million of other people's money and just launder it and spend it on Lamborghinis. But the government is cracking down on all of it because social media marketing and advertising, the answer here, guys, it's false advertising. The actual like court document stipulates. And guys, if you guys, I don't know if you can see this. I think you guys can see it. Oh no, you can't. But this is literally on the, this is not like an article. This is the Federal Trade Commission's website. So if you guys go to www.ftc.gov, you can quickly find this. So it's from the freaking government, which is awesome. So here's a couple things they're banning. Okay. It is a final rule. It is going into effect. It's already done. Okay, it's already done. So the Federal Trade Commission announced today final rule that will combat fake reviews and testimonials by prohibiting their sale or purchase and allow the agency, which is the FTC, its investigative arm. When they say the agency, it means like their law enforcement branch, to seek civil penalties against known violators or knowing violators. So people who are, key word there, right? Knowing violators, people who are doing this unethically. Fake reviews not only waste people's time and money, but also pollute the marketplace and divert business away from honest competitors. That's from Lena M. Khan, right? The FTC chair. So like the highest ranking person there. So guys, we're going to read through this because this is important. Okay, the final rule prohibits this: fake or false consumer reviews, consumer testimonials, and celebrity testimonials. So no more. You guys have seen it. I know you guys have seen where businesses will have tons of reviews, right, that were generated by AI or generated by bots, or like the dude was just sitting there creating fake profiles and generating all these tons of reviews, right? Not cool. That stuff is getting banned. And the real big thing, why is this coming out right now? It's actually in response to AI testimonies, because like people are running these massive AI platforms, and like you could just have an AI plugin basically go and just create a million fake accounts and all generate tons of reviews for you, making your stuff seem amazing when it's really not. So that's kind of a big deal. Okay. And this is going to apply to all businesses, not just real estate, to pretty much everyone out there. I'm going to skip through some of these are a little bit repetitive. Oh, buying positive or negative reviews. So that's a huge one, right? So people will go to Fiverr, to Upwork, and they will go and that's actually, sorry, that falls in the first one. Buying is going to be under the guise of like on Amazon. So this is really big on Amazon, guys. And they have to now have disclosures and disclaimers. And you'll see this on Instagram too, when an influencer will go and push like a makeup line or a whatever the hell line it is. And it'll say like, this is like a sponsored ad. It's required now by those social media platforms in order to protect consumers, to know this is a paid ad campaign. Okay. So buying positive or negative, and like people say like, why negative? Why does that matter? Big companies will go buy negative reviews to hurt small up and coming players to basically have a monopoly on their micro niche. And that's kind of a big, big thing. Yeah, exactly. So against celebrity reviews, Wayne's like, so that means I can't have Goku do a video testimonial for me. No. And the crazy thing is this, guys, And it's all coming at the right time because you guys have seen AI videos, right? How good they're getting. That's going to be the danger point. It's not like, because I don't think anyone trusts written testimonies anymore. I don't know about you guys, but when I go to a website or a business or whatever, and I see like the testimonies or the reviews at the bottom, like I never read them. I don't care because they're written. To me, they could be written by someone like an actual human being or a bot or something. Like I never trust them. I don't think anyone else does either. And I think the people who do trust them are super naive. And so that's not really what they care about, because I think most consumers are like smarter than that. It's the danger of the fact that AI video is getting so good. And that's when we're going to have like celebrity endorsements, right? Fake AI generated celebrity endorsements, which is a huge thing. So a lot of people aren't talking about this or don't know about this in our industry, is that big celebrities in Hollywood, right? People who are famous athletes, Hollywood celebrities, whatever, they're all working to protect their intellectual property and basically copywriting themselves to make sure that their likeness is not being used to sell random crap. Like, who's one of the biggest like victims of this? Joe Rogan. Guys, I'm sure every one of you guys saw when you're scrolling through Instagram, like there was like a new fake AI Joe Rogan sponsored ad segment for whatever. Like I saw some crazy stuff. There was some stuff about like male enhancement pills and like testosterone boosting stuff and all of the randomest things on earth. And it was all AI generated without his consent, without paying him. And Joe Rogan's legal team is basically trying to protect his intellectual property in himself. And so this is going to crack down on that huge. Okay. This one's a big one. Review suppression. So basically, unfounded, right? So if someone goes and creates reviews against your business and they're just like, they're obviously crazy, it's someone just trolling you, it's unfounded, or what we call groundless in like legal terminology. That's fine, you can suppress that. But when they actually have actual grounds for negativity and like you actually did screw up, review suppression at scale is going to get you in huge trouble. Now, here's the things, we're running up on time. I actually want to get to the most important one, and that's this one, because I think this one is the biggest issue in today's day and age. Misuse. Who called it? Did Joe Rogan call it, or did I call it? It sounds like something I would have called, but Joe Rogan is smarter than me, so he probably called it too. So this is a huge thing for me. Misuse of fake social media indicators. Okay. The final rule prohibits anyone from selling or buying fake indicators of social media influence. What does that mean, guys? Fake followers, fake engagement. You guys see it. It's the guy with 500,000, 100,000, 50,000 followers, and his average reel gets 100 views. You see how those numbers don't add up? Or all of their comments are only bot comments? Guys, that's all paid for. It's all paid for. Like, that's just the way it is. I'm sorry. And like, don't get me wrong, there's times where you can have like keywords in your captions that trigger bots to come in and do dumb stuff. Sure. But the guys who have 100,000 followers who also have like no comments or no actual engagement, and you can tell every comment that is a comment is a bot comment, or like my favorite ones are, it's like they've got 250,000 followers. Each reel they have, or each, short form content piece they have, has like 50,000 views, and it's got 0 comments. The views are fake. The engagement's fake. And so the reason why the government's cracking down on this is because the people who do that, guys, it costs money to grow your following. It costs money to buy bot accounts, to buy bot followers, to buy bot comments and bot engagement. All that stuff costs money. And yes, are there people who are just insecure and like want to just grow their vanity metrics for the sake of growing their vanity metrics to look cool? Sure. But the reality is the government's not cracking down on them, the insecure guy who's not really doing anything with it, he just wants to look cool. They're cracking down on it, on the person who's the influencer or guru who's selling a $10,000 product or a $15,000 product, or they're crowdsourcing a ton of money that's then going to go into some, investment fund that they'd never hear back from, or it goes into crypto or NFT or all these risky things. And the reason why the person did it is because, he's got 250,000 followers and he's got a lot of positive engagement and positive comments, and he looks real and he looks legit, this, that, and the other. That stuff is extremely unethical. And it's been like pretty much banned across all social media platforms, but it's so hard for the algorithms and the platforms themselves to get out ahead of, because technology is just rapidly increasing. You can go, guys, trust me, you can go and like find dudes on Fiverr, pay them like $50 or $200 to go and give you like 5,000 bot accounts, bot followers like tomorrow. It's that easy. Organic growth is extremely hard. Bot growth is extremely easy. And then the problem is the guys who are selling stuff are leveraging their fake engagement, their fake authority, their fake credibility to sell this stuff. And what's it doing? It's tricking the consumer. And that's who the government needs to protect. And in fact, that's who all good business owners should protect too, are their consumers. So what does this mean for you guys? Be more mindful. Like, be more mindful with what's happening in social media marketing, right? The fact that everyone is selling something nowadays, and that a lot of the fake engagement is there because they don't have real engagement. And if their products and services were as good as they claim to be, or their price tag would warrant, they would actually have testimonies that are real and not bots or not paid for or not faked. And so the government's out ahead of it. Every one of you should be as well. And if you are a brand builder, like all of us, me, Marlon, Alejandro, like we're all brand building. We're all trying to grow our personal brands. We're all trying to get bigger. We're all trying to, launch businesses and do big things and, really take our attention and the trust and loyalty that we get from social media and our followers and do something with it where we take care of them and we take care of ourselves by making money together, whether it's a service or a product or whatever the heck it is, right? The key is, if you start going down that route, to never take the shortcut. Never buy followers, never buy fake reviews. Like, don't do shady stuff and sell to your consumer on a foundation of mistrust. Because for all the small guys, it doesn't really matter. They're kind of flying under the radar, and I'm sure they will continue to fly under the radar. But once you get big enough and you have enough reach and you affect enough people, like, even if you are all well-intentioned, all that needs to happen is one big mistake, and the government is now paying attention to you. And guys, I'm saying, like, I mean this. I literally walked away from a real estate deal, unfortunately, yesterday. Really, still kind of sad about it. So I really want to buy this. I really wanted to buy this house, and I had to do that. And it was a great deal, and I could have taken the risk. But the reason I didn't is because I would be misallocating the trust my private money lender put on me to be a steward and a guardian of their funds and their money. And if I did that and I took that reckless shortcut for like just some short-term vanity or some quick money, I would have potentially put their money in danger. And if something bad happened, my name would be tarnished, and it's just not worth it. So the FCC is paying attention, the FTC is paying attention, and they are paying attention to every industry, but our industry especially, because there's so much money in it. Guys, they're cracking down on everybody. They're cracking down on the influencer who's selling makeup, sure, but that makeup piece costs $4 or $5 or $10 or whatever it costs. I don't know anything about makeup, so it might be more. So for the ladies, please don't obliterate me for that one. The problem is, in the real estate space, you have all these people laundering $50,000 of someone's hard-earned money, and that's huge. And those numbers add up really quick. And John Hurst says it, guys, be in the business of providing value. Guys, we are at time. I hope today has been enlightening and insightful into something that no one is talking about. And guess what? The people who should be talking about it is all of you guys, because this affects you, especially if you're growing, especially if you want to use social media to grow your business. And I hope you do. I hope you do start marketing your stuff. I hope you do start funneling your following into your business, however you want to. But caveat is, do it in a way that you actually provide legitimate value to people. You don't harm anyone. And most importantly, guys, Marlon has this great saying. He's like, Sam, as we come up as influencers and micro influencers, whatever, we are trust brokers. It is our job to broker the trust of people who have invested in us. And we have to do that, like, ethically. So I hope today was insightful for you. Guys, you know the stuff. I always forget. Marlon does a great job of this. If you guys like today, like and subscribe, because that shows the algorithm this video was worth it. And then it'll show it to more people like you, which is cool, because the algorithm will just go to work for us and find our next wave of people that we should be protecting with this type of message. That's awesome. And then, as Marlon would also say, the best thing you can do is actually go and share this podcast episode on your social media. Make sure to tag us. My Instagram is @ArchSamSing. And guys, I appreciate the hell out of you guys. You guys are amazing. Stay ethical, stay on the righteous path, go make a shit ton of money, and I'll see you next week. Peace.